Okay, I'm sure we can see my screen now. So it's important to know and remember that these things are not, they are not, cast in stone. So I'm going to look at a resource that I have, and then we're going to just sort of focus on CV writing, because when it comes to recruitment, your CV is one thing that sells you, right? Having the right CV is important, and sometimes it becomes very difficult for people to assess certain opportunities because they lack the right CV. So I have a course, it's called ASIN Graduate Trainee Programs, all you need to know. And as much as it is for people preparing for graduate traineeships, it is for people preparing for entry level roles, it is also very much useful for core members, and it's on a discount. So it currently selling at a discounted price of 1,750. Nona would put the link in the chat, and of course it would also be sent to you. I know when you hear graduate training, you often think it's entry level role, it is learn on the job. It's not necessarily that, right? Graduate traineeship programs and structure vary depending on the nature of the organization. I'm just going to tell you that for free. So in one organization, graduate traineeship might be an entry level role, come and learn on the job. In another organization, graduate trainee role is actually a role where they select young people that they build to become managers of their company. So the way they treat normal entry level staffs are different from the way they treat graduate trainees. So if you're looking to learn more about that, you can look at it. So under this particular course, I think we have about four modules: preparing before recruitment, preparing for recruitment, ASIN graduate traineeship, and supporting resources. I'm going to share CV writing from the section that says preparing for recruitment. Under that section, we have CV writing, cover letter writing, recruitment assessment, job interviews, and like I mentioned, looking for opportunities. So here, the first thing I'm going to look at in CV writing are recruitment myths. When it comes to recruitment, there are a lot of myths. The first myth that we have, especially young Nigerian youth, is there are no jobs, which I have told you earlier is wrong. There are jobs available. People are not what's it called equipped with the knowledge of the jobs that are available, or people are equipped with the knowledge of jobs available but applying the wrong way. The second myth I'm going to demystify today is that um people think competence does not get you anywhere. That's a lie. I am an evidence that competence gets you somewhere. Competence gets you somewhere. Favor gets you somewhere. Okay, so as much as knowing someone is good, you can only be recommended based on what you can do. You cannot just be recommended because they know you. And that's why many people would say, oh, just finish and come and finish NYSC and come and they'll get you a job. Most of the time is they can't get people anything tangible. Because if you ask, for instance, if you have 20 core members and you ask 20 of them, where do you want to work? They'll tell you anything, anywhere. There's no purpose, there's no drive. And you know what happens when you bring people like that into an organization? Everything is going to die because they don't see how their input ties into the output of the organization. They don't see value or anything. It's just, I just need money. I just need money. I just need money. So this mindset have to be changed because these things exist and people are getting these opportunities. Next thing I'm going to say is tailor your CV. So you know that thing where they say, oh, apply for a job and you just pull out one CV that has all the 20 something courses that you took but you never completed. You just started taking them, and seven job experience. You were a registrar at one point, you were a receptionist, you were a server, you were a cleaner, you were a cook. That's not a CV. Tailor your CV. So if I know, for instance, as a core member, let's assume I'm a core member and I'm preparing to apply for a job in Akwa Ibom or somewhere, and I'm applying to a particular company, I will tell them key competencies and key skills I can bring on board that are relevant to the job. So I'm going to, of course, tell them if my receptionist work is in a way relevant to whatever I'm coming to do. Maybe I'm applying to be a receptionist or a secretary or a front desk person, then I would put that. But I'm not going to tell them that I was a cook, I was a chef, I did 100-day marathon, but Guinness did not give me record. I'm not going to put that there because it's not relevant. Also, in tailoring your CV, you need to use verbs. You don't want to just say, I worked under. You want to put exactly what you did. I led a team. I supported, right? I delegated. And you want to put numbers. So did you lead a team or you managed a team of 60 staffs? You increased productivity in the organization by 20%. You want to put numbers to this. So remember, you want to use verbs and numbers. If you open your CV and in all the description there are no verbs, then there's a problem with your CV. So when we say an ATS standard CV, these are some of the key things we are looking at. Next is biodata. As much as we are Nigerians, I need to tell you this. If you're applying to a private company, some information are unnecessary, and even a public institution, honestly. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't create a bias where a bias does not exist. Who asked you for your picture? Your picture is not necessary. It's not modeling. You're not seducing anybody. If I see your picture and I don't like the shape of your nose, but you're competent, I can decide not to give you the job. So please remove your picture, right? Because there are people that will get competent for you and they'll say, oh no, because you're a man, you want a woman. Oh, you're competent. Now, woman, we don't want woman, we want woman. You want to be judged, like I said, based on your competencies and qualification, not evoking specific biases that do not exist. Gender is also very much unnecessary, right? Because it creates a bias. Your age is not necessary. If they need your age, they would ask it in the application form. And let me say this regarding age. You know, people see things and then, for instance, especially entry level roles, they tell you things like, oh, something to 25, something to 30, and people go and complain in this comment section. Why is he only 25-year-old? Nobody's stopping you from applying. I have a resource that basically says a requirement 100% necessary in an application. And what it's saying is, if a man sees a role, whatever role, a man is going to apply if he has 40% of the qualification. But a woman will not apply until she has almost 100% of the qualification. And you know the thing about qualification, if you're 100% qualified for a job, then you're overqualified. You should not be applying for it in the first place. So if age is a problem but you're competent, you want to apply for it. There are people that have applied for roles that they were overcompetent for, only for them to go to the interview and say, oh, I'm overcompetent for this role, but this is what I can do, this is what I can do. So if there's an opening for a higher position in your organization, I'm willing to take it. And they get their jobs that way, right? You're looking for an opportunity. You're not trying to close the door on yourself. So that's a key thing to note about age. Next is LGA. We know very well, you want to divide Nigerians, bring up the conversation of religion and tribalism. Your LGA is not important. I don't need to know what state you come from. I don't need to know what LGA you come from. I don't need to know whether you believe in God or you believe in stone in a recruitment process. It is not necessary, like I said, except otherwise stated. And in situations where these things are otherwise stated, they're usually stated in a separate form. So your CV should not be containing these things. Also, marital status. I don't understand. Are you looking for work or are you looking for a spouse? So these are some clear things that need to be stated. If you check on NYSC social media pages, we did something like this, a carousel of CV do's, CV don'ts, sections that should be in your CV. But we would also share full resource materials with you. So if you go forward to look at, the ATS CV format, it basically has things like work history, right? And you want to add the most relevant work history. You don't want to put every single thing that you have done in your life, because everything you have done in your life is not relevant to every job. And if you have done something but you don't know how to tailor it, think of it from a project management perspective, right? Project management has different stages. If I decide to assume and break project management into three stages, for instance, I can say there's initiation, there is the project implementation, and then there's project closure. So instead of saying, oh, I was a receptionist, think of the tasks you did as a receptionist and break it into project management, so that whatever role you're applying for, you have transferable skills from your previous experiences that you can bring in to say, this is how being a receptionist would help me to do this job that I don't have experience for. But you can't just go around telling people you don't have experience for a job. You're not going to get a job that way, right? Because you need experience to gain experience. It's just that simple. Next is your educational qualification. Your first degree, like I said, is very much important. It enables you to knock on a door. And depending on the kind of grade you finished with, sometimes your education automatically opens that door for you. If you have specific accomplishments in your career, specific milestones, best graduating student, overall best in this, what's it called, dean's award, something nominee, then you want to put those that are relevant to your application or that boost your profile, because you're trying to sell yourself. So every advantage that you have is a plus for you in comparison to whoever your competitions are. Of course, necessary certification. Don't tell us courses that you started and you did not finish. The summary about CV writing is this: don't put in your CV what you cannot defend. Like I said, if you have won awards, you can also put that. And I'm going to say recommendations. In this age, don't put recommendation on your CV. People are not going to call those numbers. If they want to call them, they would ask for them separately. What people actually do look for when it comes to recommendation is under contact, right? What they're actually looking for is a digital profile. So something like a LinkedIn account. Whether you're active, you're not active, create one and become active. If you're not active on LinkedIn, you want to create an account and you want to post at least once monthly, right? If you want to build consistency, then you can say once weekly. If you want to go more in terms of consistency, you can say maybe bi-weekly. You want to post in relation to the work you have done. You want to post in relation to your experiences. You want to follow industry leaders and industry professionals in your fields, right? Just a bonus tip, which is what you have up here. You can create a bio section. For instance, my name is XYZ. I am an XYZ person with 7 years of experience in this, with area of specialty in maybe key sub thematic areas that your work focuses on. That's what you can put in your bio section. 1 to 2, 3 lines is enough. It doesn't have to be a lot, right? It's also good to put, like I said, the numbers, use your verbs, and put results and outcomes. Next, we have hard and soft skills. So when we say hard skills, we're talking a lot more about maybe softwares you can use, things you can do, right? We're in the digital age. So a lot of the time when we say hard skills, we're referring to software related skills. Basic things like Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, Excel, just the Microsoft packages, honestly. You would be shocked at how many organizations use these things and how many young people do not know how to use them. For instance, using a Google Drive, setting up a Zoom meeting, setting up a Google Meet. These things are key competencies, right? And if you have maybe special programming skills, then you want to add them under your hard skills. And of course, soft skills. Project management is a soft skill, critical thinking and analysis is a soft skill, teamwork is a soft skill, people management is a soft skill, emotional intelligence is a soft skill. So these are some soft skills that you want to look at and want to, of course, also build on. Now, when we come to contact, the contact information that should be on your CV includes the following: address. You can have country if you're looking for a remote job. If you're looking for a physical job, then you can have state and country, right? Because there's really no point applying for a job when your address is saying Abuja, but you're looking for a job, you're applying for a job in Lagos. If HR sees it, they most likely would fling it initially, right? But if they don't see your address and they consider you competent enough, when they call you and then you say, "Oh, I am in Abuja," they will begin to think, "Do we have a branch in Abuja, or are we willing to pay this person relocation allowance to come in?" There are core members that have not been treated as that have been treated that have not been treated like graduates, because there's a difference between being a graduate and core member. Graduates are treated with more respect in the corporate space than core members. It's sad. However, there are still core members that have been treated like graduates because of the way they present themselves. Under the Horn NYSC Spotlight series, I think next weekend we'll look at Johnson's story. And he's one person that worked as a core member but earned and was paid the normal salary of a normal staff. So your phone number, because it's a global age and your CV can go anywhere, I like to say add country code +234. Your email address also should be professional. Usually first name, last name at gmail or yahoo.com. First name dot last name at whatever. Last name dot first name is a good format. First letter of first name, last name at whatever. First letter of last name, first name at whatever. These are basic formats you can use to create an email that stands out for you. Not 41223289667 very unnecessary. If you have, of course, a digital portfolio, either to photography, videography, a GitHub, a programming profile, you want that there. And whether you have that kind of profile or not, you want to have a LinkedIn account. And if there's anything you have done, so think of it this way: think of your LinkedIn account as a dump for your entire CV, all the work you have ever done in your life, voluntary, paid, servitude, as long as you gain an experience from it. Think of LinkedIn as that place where you can pour it. So when you're doing an application or you're doing something and you're feeling imposter syndrome, you're feeling less competent, you can go to LinkedIn and say, for this particular job and role, what skill competencies do I need to put on this CV? What key competencies do I need to remove? Right? So think of it that way. And of course, you can save your CV, in PDF format, right? And if otherwise stated as a doc. But if it is not stated, please save it as a PDF because anything can happen in uploading, in sending, in moving your file. So save it pretty much as a PDF. So this is basically what we covered in CV writing under the ACGT course, and I'm sure when you get the course you would see more. I share that because it is most relevant to helping you send a cold email. Earlier I already gave an illustration on how to send a cold email, right? So we're supposed to take reflection. Reflection is basically